You can make a lot of money in real estate if you have money and if you have deals. Today, I want to share with you how you can get your hands on both of them. Because when I work with people in the game of real estate, that is their biggest complaint, and we're going to solve that today with a company called PropStream. This is my #1 go-to real estate software, and this is Burton representing the company today.
Hey everyone.
Burton is actually in-house expert, basically works with everyone nationwide that is using their system. I've negotiated for you to actually download and get the system for free, and today we want to talk about how do you actually use this to not just find deals. Today we're talking about how you actually use the system to find money. How do you find cash buyers? How do you find people you can partner with? How do you find people you can wholesale to? Because this system, if you've watched the other videos, it'll tee up how to find a great deal. Now the question is, how do I offload this to somebody else and make a quick $10,000? We're gonna break that all down for you right now.
Absolutely. So in our previous examples, Kris had some very good criteria. He was looking for 3 to 5 bedroom, 1 to 2 bathrooms.
Entry-level real estate, you know my game.
Absolutely, with the 20% minimum equity amount. So now that we've built that list, let's find buyers that match those property characteristics. And so here in Salt Lake City, we have 135 of them that are listed. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to filter the cash buyers that are buying single-family properties between 3 to 5 bedrooms, 1 to 2 bathrooms.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter. I mean, I can choose whether they're individual buyers.
Totally doesn't matter to me.
Doesn't matter to me. So now that I've bought the criteria and I can put the amount of what they're buying things for, so up to $300,000 per se.
Yeah.
Now I hit apply, and out of the 135 cash buyers that are recorded in Salt Lake City, 30 of them meet our criteria. These are 30 either corporate or individual buyers that are buying single families, properties that are between 3 to 5 bedrooms, 1 to 2 bathrooms.
Now just check out, because this is so amazing. When people are like, oh, I found a good deal, but I don't have any money. You know, the reality is your cash buyers, these are the movers and shakers. They're loaded and they're just making deals happen left and right. And you're asking yourself, okay, if I use PropStream or on my own, I find a good deal, it would be so cool if I could just sell that to someone or wholesale it to somebody and basically flip the paper, just assign it to them. And at closing, you're gonna get whatever you sign on that contract. You might say, hey, this deal has like that deal we found earlier.
Yeah,
this deal has $88,000 of equity and I'll give it to you, but I want a $12,000 assignment. And the investor crunches their numbers and says, dude, I'm still getting like a $68,000, $70,000 deal. This is great. Yes, I'll give you $12,000. They sign that piece of paper. You turn it over to them, and when you go to closing, you get a $12,000 check. You're not hanging on to the property, you're not flipping it, you're not doing anything. You've already got your buyer. Or you might say to yourself, wait a second, this house has $80,000 of equity. I want to hold on to this one, but I don't have the money for it. Now you have a list of 30 people you can call up and find out, were some of these people just homeowners that wanted to pay for their house cash? Yes, some of them will be. But you'll call some of them and you'll say, are you an investor? And a lot of them are going to say, yes, I am. Hey, I found a really good deal. It has $80,000 of equity. I'm looking for someone that can take it out with the cash and partner with me on it. Are you open to that? Friends, that's a dialogue they're going to say yes to all day long if you got your numbers worked the right way. And what PropStream just did was basically not just find you really hot, awesome deals. It found you the people of financial influence in your area that are actually active with money buying real estate, not just real estate, just like you. Because we could have filtered out for the more expensive range or for something else, but we're saying anyone that's playing with cash below $300,000, I want to know who they are.
Correct.
And now we do. Now that we have this list, how do we get their contact information, track them down?
Same as before, every property you can click on and we can now look at the details. What we have here is a cash sell tab. So it shows us when the amount that was dropped, when it was dropped, who the seller was and who the buyer is. So we now know that Brittany is an individual that back in May of last year dropped $232,000. So now that we know who the owner is, I would most likely save this list and skip trace it, just like we did with our motivated sellers.
You know, just for fun, let's just do it real quick. Let's do on this list of 30, let's do a real quick skip trace.
Absolutely.
This is the coolest part of the system. You've got these people's contact information by way of address, so you could send them snail mail, but who wants to do that? I want a phone number. I want to call them up and I want to say, hey, I got your name, from somewhere, I got a smoking deal. Are you still doing deals? If they say yes, you have got all the money you need for doing real estate deals. This is going to work, friends, because this is how I do it.
First step is to save the list. Highlight them all and hit the save button. Second step is go to your contacts page and append the job. So we're going to go ahead and hit add new, select our Salt Lake City cash buyers. We'll add them, and then we'll tell the system to place our order. So I want 1 landline, 2 cell phones, 2 emails. Go ahead and scrub the list. All right, so 5 were removed, either because they're duplicates, not enough information, or we've done them in the past. So it'll be $12.50.
And that's the max that it could actually be. It might be less than $12. It just depends on what they can actually recover. We don't know how many cell phones or how many email addresses they're going to have, but they're going to search. This system doesn't take very long. It only takes a couple of minutes, and it's going to actually find up the people in our area with money. I actually want this list because I'm buying homes every single week, and I'm always partnering with people.
Absolutely.
So that's hot.
So now that we've started the Append Jobs, it's processing, and this, again, a list of about 30 can take anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes.
Now, while this is happening right now, I just want to take a moment and just share something with you. If you're reaching out saying, I'm looking for money or I'm looking for deals, this prop stream, in our world of technology, this is as high tech as it gets. People have been out there creating lists, scrubbing lists, finding motivated buyers and sellers all day long, but now there's a company that's automated the entire process. And what I did is I worked out a deal with PropStream, and I said, listen, I need you guys to help me create value. Your system's amazing, but I need you to do me a solid. I want you to offer to my people at the lowest discount they'll ever be able to find it, less than they'll ever be able to find it in the market. More importantly, I want you to give them a free trial. Because I want to collect success stories of people that on their free trial found a deal and actually got into the game of real estate very profitably. If you've watched the other deals, we just did a deal where we found over $80,000 of equity. Another one found $60,000 of equity. These are real actual deals that we can actually call and make a move on. And PropStream is going to be an incredible resource to help you do that.
Absolutely.
Boom, the list is done, it's processed, it's right here. Friends, these are the people that we can actually call and talk to right now to actually get in and start basically saying, you got money, I got deals. That's a match made in heaven. Friends, these are people you want to get to know. These are the people you want to show your deals to. And literally with PropStream, you now have the ability to sit at home from your computer, find a hot deal, negotiate it, maybe even get it under contract, and at the exact same time, because that's my style, I'm actually lining up the cash buyers and we're making deals happen. I'm getting paid all this money. I average personally 5 to 15 grand an hour when I'm actually in the game doing real estate. And it's because of tools like this that are gonna up that number and make it even easier. So if you haven't downloaded it already, definitely click the link below and download your free version of it so you can start trialing it out and seeing exactly how it works. Also, if you're not a subscriber, fix that right now and ring that bell because we've got more wealth training and real estate training coming your way right now.